What's up, Creative Fam? Creative Fam, thanks for joining the podcast. So today I have a guest on my podcast show named Nickole Woodyard of Wings of Glory Photography in Central Florida. And so we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today. And thank you for joining me on the podcast.
Of course.
We're also, let me give a shout out to who is kind of sponsoring today's show. It's we're at House 820, which is over in Lakeland.
So pretty.
Yeah, which is over in Lakeland. It's like an industrial venue, so you can host weddings here. We actually met here at a styled shoot a couple months ago.
We did a big shoot together. Yeah, it was awesome. It was gorgeous. But what's really cool is because it's it's a shell, so you have control over almost everything. As you can see, I don't know if you can see in the background, but it's pretty empty. So literally you can cut it, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a full kitchen back there. So there's full kitchen, fridge, freezer, large. You could actually host a ceremony and a reception here if you had the right size wedding. But so we're here today, and then we also had Mitchell's Coffee House, which is also located in downtown Lakeland.
Right here.
They sponsored us as well and gave me some free coffee and
it is these mugs are super cute. Thank you guys so much.
I drank the coffee earlier. I'm not gonna lie. There's actually wine in that mug right now because it's Friday. So we drinking wine and podcasting today.
It's Friday though, guys. It's Friday, and we're wedding professionals, videographer and photographer, and to have a Friday off, we're gonna celebrate.
Yeah, because this weekend's gonna be busy, I'm sure. But anyway, so tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started. Where when was the first time you picked up a camera?
Okay, so the whole story. Okay. So when was the first time I picked up a camera? Do we want to talk about an actual camera?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got an actual camera when my son was about 3 months old, and he's 9 now. But back then, in high school, I was always the girl kind of with the camera. I was the only one that always took the photos. I should have been in journalism, but I was actually working almost my entire high school because it was just me and my grandmother. So I was kind of responsible for part of the income, which now looking back is, then it wasn't ideal because I was I have no free time. But now looking back, it's just kind of what made me who I am and my strong work ethic and things like that. So, but I still took all of what was those? We had to get them developed, those
film.
Yeah, no, well, duh. But those little plastic ones that you could buy for $10.
Yeah.
And then you So, but I was in high school, so I took a whole bunch of pictures of everybody in high school. So I already knew that my love for photography was there. And what's super, super, super cool is that my 11th grade teacher, his name is Mr. Bryant. What's up?
Shout out to Mr. Bryant.
Shout out to Mr. Bryant. So, it's just so funny because I actually seen him the other day. But so what he made us do, we were in 11th grade, and what he made us do is if we could pick a career, if we could do anything with our life, what would we want to do? And I did a project on photography. And I at the time I was just got on the internet and I just printed whatever photo I thought looked cool. And I was yeah, photography. And I put it on the board and then I made a presentation. But I knew at that age that this is something that I'm passionate about. I just realistically never thought it would be an actual career where people could make money. How do I do that? I didn't know. So I was young. So that happened. And then graduated high school, and then life happened, and I had my son, and I distinctly remember before my son was born getting maternity pictures. Girl, am I allowed to say another company's name?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Yeah.
I went and got them at Target. This girl was 16, 17 working there.
They don't do this anymore, do they?
I don't know. This was had to been over 10 years. It was definitely over 10 years ago because obviously I was pregnant, so Aiden's 9 now. But I remember getting there and she's doing her thing, and she didn't seem like she knew what she was doing, so I had to help her with my own photo shoot. So I feel and this is before I actually got the nice camera, and then I actually started practicing myself. But I knew basic things to well, actually, I would like this pose. Actually, I think that this position would probably look better. And so I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm over here at my maternity section in Target. Because photography, honestly, within a decade has been drastically different.
Yes.
So like back then, it was the norm to go to Target.
Yeah.
Like, not to hire like a freelance or to hire a company.
Yeah. Or like JCPenney or whatever.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, we'll do that. And it had AC and I was fat and pregnant and I couldn't breathe. So it was ideal. So we were doing the photo shoot. And then I just, like, it dawned on me, I'm like, why am I not doing this? This girl over here is making money doing what I love to do, but now I have to tell her how to do her job. So from there, it kind of like always stayed with me. And then my son was born and I knew I wanted to document, you know, his life changes. And I got a camera and I started documenting him. And then my business got to where it was because after that, I just kind of documented my friends' families, my family, everything like that. And then I kind of started a charity for families that could not afford photos.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, now you know. So that's how it started. Because I didn't have the confidence at the time to start a business. I didn't think that, number one, I'm honestly pretty fresh out of high school. I mean, let me see, I was 20 when I got had my son. Not pregnant, 19. And then I had him at 20. So the confidence of like, I don't know anything about business. I don't know anything about anything, honestly. I'm not kidding, like I knew nothing. And I barely, like how am I gonna charge people if I barely know my own camera? Because honestly, this was just a hobby to me. I could not afford college, which I did end up going to college, but I was going for my AA. And then literally after the first semester, I quit because I'm like, no, I can't do this. This is not what I want to do. But
it's good that you found that out when you did instead of like wasting.
Tell me, because I have some of my like best girlfriends and they've like gone to college, no joke, over 4 years, and
I went to
so
college
much
for
debt.
7 years. Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I have friends who I'm lucky enough that like through college I worked part-time at IKEA, but it was enough to
IKEA runs my world, okay, though?
Yeah, my
office, I think almost all my office supplies is from IKEA. I love it. They have the coolest desks. They do.
My entire house, yeah. But my parents like kind of made a deal with me where they were gonna like pay for my tuition as long as I paid for all of my supplies and like all the trips I had to go on in the architecture program I went to. And that was like, I'm like so blessed that I don't have student loans, but I have friends that are very deep in student debt.
Yeah,
and that's challenging.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine either. Because when I was very fortunate that when I first started college, and it was over at Valencia, and this is Valencia in Kissimmee. It's like we're in the middle of Kissimmee and St. Cloud. But this is before Valencia. I think now it's like considered an actual. Before it was community college, now I think it was like a university or something now.
I don't know.
Over there.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. Because I was like, oh shit, the college I went to, all right.
Right.
Anyhow, so when I went there, it was still just community college. I was very fortunate that at least my first semester was covered with
Bright Futures?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, cool.
It's like, a little less strict back in our day. Now it's like...
Is it crazy strict now?
Now it's like, yeah, you have to be like straight A student, 4.0, 75 hours of community service, like...
Ew, we have to do community service. Like, okay, thank God. Like, I have like a financial advisor that is like telling me now what I need to do for my son's like college because that would be crazy. I can't even imagine when he goes.
Yeah.
So, where was I? So I went to college and then I couldn't do it. And mind you, as I was in college, I'm not single mom, sorry. I was with my son and pretty much full time because my husband worked graveyard. So literally he would work all night and then sleep pretty much all day because that's just the shift that we were able to get and there wasn't much that we could do about that. But, so it was almost like I felt like I was a single mom because I'm just like raising this kid by myself. And I went to school and I worked. Do you remember like Mimi's Cafe?
Yeah.
It's delicious. Great breakfast. But I worked
Don
there.
Mabry?
Huh?
Or wasn't it at Don Mabry? Or
You mean where or what was it called?
Yeah.
Oh, no. So this one was like, and for my Kissimmee peeps, you guys might remember it. Yeah.
There was another one on. Okay.
Boo, I don't live where you are.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
She's like, what's it? I'm
We
like, I don't even know where
drove
that
an
is.
hour to get to where we are right now. So this is our halfway point.
Yes, she lives very far from me, and when we were trying to like network and like get this going, she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Here I am." And she's like, "Oh."
I had to look it up on Google Maps. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm not driving out there." We'll keep it in the middle.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. And so. Where was I? Okay, so I was at Mimi's Cafe, and this is the moment. Now, mind you, throughout this, I dabbled in photography. I helped family, friends. And it wasn't any. I mean, I had a nice camera, and I was learning my camera. So I wasn't knowledgeable in business. I wasn't knowledgeable in the camera itself. I knew the basics of what the manual kind of told me. Mm-hmm. And then honestly, all the buttons I kind of like just pressed and let's just wish for the best. Mm-hmm. That's basically was my motto. Because really of course I would want to do this as a profession, but at the same time, I didn't know how. Or I didn't necessarily have the confidence that I could do it, right?
There's kind of a stigma that like creative, like, fields like that, like photography is like, oh, that's like you have to be really, really good at it in order to like make anything or that kind of thing.
And honestly, what I find now is that we're at an age to where it's very, very, very easy for anyone to become a photographer.
Yeah. So
you, as a photographer that has been in it for a while, you have to stop. How do I say this right? Not necessarily stop counting on your creative work or just the photos to speak for themselves, because you definitely want that to happen. But you are the face, you are the brand, so you have to brand yourself, and you have to build connection and like relationships with the people that you are attracting. So like we have such a wide range of people nowadays that are trying to be creative, and that's awesome. I'm such a thumbs up to people. If this is their passion,
but it's
go
so
for it.
Saturated.
Yes,
like
so
photography
now,
especially.
So now it's like you have to market your work, but you have to market you.
You have to really connect with your client.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a client after this that you is
I have an amazing client after this. So like, listen, I'm very transparent, and I'm very like, this is how I talk to my clients, because I want, at the end of the day, as a business owner, my actual like goal in life is just to love people and to be connected with people and to grow with people and to learn and inspire and motivate people to be the best, right? So we're blessed that we are actually in a situation that we meet a ton of people all the time, weekly. Yes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can combine my love for inspiring and motivating people to be the best versions of themselves, also photography. And it's like, it co-aligns and it's awesome. So we're really, really fortunate with that.
Yeah.
We kind of just trailed off, but that's okay.
No, that was actually kind of connecting to the dots to like where I wanted to like lead the conversation.
Yay.
Was like
Okay,
how you.
Because I'll just like ramble. No joke. I'll just like talk, and this podcast.
That makes it easy for me. That's fine. I'll just sit back and just keep drinking.
she's like literally at the beginning of the session. She's like, I might just like lounge out on the couch. Like, is that okay? And I'm like just gonna lay right here. Okay, all right.
But no, that kind of like led into. I agree with you. I think like in order to stand out these days, you have to be your brand, and like your business and your photography, like your photography business and you almost have to be like the same like Instagram page, and like it's
yes. Not necessarily. I don't agree. I think what some people love. Yes, I have two separate ones too. So because there's always gonna be people that don't really need to see that many pictures of your dog or cat. Or in my circumstance, my son.
Right.
But
that's literally like my personal Instagram is like cats and wine and what I do for fun sometimes, and then my business Instagram is like
work, and then here I am at a coffee shop or something, right?
Right. But so tell me more about how you integrate your your story into your brand. Like you have kind of, so the topic I kind of want to get at this podcast is like how you take your personal story and some of the struggles that you go through as a creative entrepreneur, how you use your talents and your skills to get yourself through hard times and to use that as a way to get through hard times. And I know that that's kind of specific to your story, and I just kind of wanted to go into that.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so just to recap, just so that you guys can see the progression that I made to get to what I'm about to say, is that yes, my son was born, yes, I did the camera thing, and then I learned, and then I said, you know what, I gotta do this. I was at hence like the Mimi's Cafe thing that we brought up. And I was sitting there and my boss, like I served all my tables because I was a server. It was easy money. You know, when you're in college, it's typically the thing that you do. And I was like, all my tables are fine, everything's good. And actually we were slow at the moment and I was kind of just leaning and just taking a breath. And my boss at the time looked at me and says, what are you doing? Like with pure disgust. And literally at that moment, I was like, nope, nope, I'm out. And quit. And that's when I started the business. So, started the business, made it into a business/charity, more so the charity, because I was very fortunate at the time that I could, if I wanted to, be a stay-at-home mom. I loved working, so it was kind of a struggle for me, but I did it. I took care of my son for 2 years. While doing the photography and taking care of families that couldn't afford it. And because honestly, there comes a time where like just genuine, true people are going through hard times, but that doesn't mean that they don't deserve portraits of their family.
Right.
You know?
I'm a big believer in like karma, and especially when like you're starting your business. Like my first couple of weddings were free.
Oh, definitely.
I think like that's
and we'll go into. I think we're going to definitely dabble in there, like how like pricing and like because I don't want people to think like you can just get into this industry. I'm like I'm $2,000 to start. I haven't done one wedding. I'm like I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? So yes, like anyway. We're gonna so dabble into that, like. Because I want to make sure that people don't have an unrealistic expectation of how it is to make actually make a living in this market. So I did that and I started, and eventually I was like, okay, I got my camera. I know this. Oh, I'm delivering good work. My clients are happy. I'm gonna start like in my first like photo shoot that I charged, guys. I charged like $30 because I felt bad. I'm like, can I have $30? Like to me, I was like, oh, this is so much money because. I wasn't making anything before. And I'm like, I can buy dinner tonight maybe, you know? So it was awesome. So we started from there and we just kind of progressed. And it was just extremely, I won't ever downgrade or discredit single or independent moms that are like stay-at-home moms. That is a job, guys. That is like, I wanted to lose my mind. Girl.
Yeah. No,
you have cats, but I had a kid.
No, I don't have any kids, but I can imagine. Like I've babysat my nephew for like a week when he was like a baby, and that was enough for me. I was like, this is fucking crazy. Like
no, it's just because like
it's exhausting.
Yeah, because it's just nonstop, and
it literally is nonstop.
Yeah, and you never get any sleep, and at least to where you actually feel rested. You might sleep, but you just never feel rested. And you need to have patience because you're raising this beautiful child that you made and you love this beautiful child, but you're also like, just fucking eat your food and then take a nap, please. Like, because that's like your life.
Go the fuck to sleep.
Please, you're making a huge mess. I just cleaned today. And you know, and for my stay-at-home moms, like, oh my gosh, guys, like, you guys rule. Like, and I did it, and I was literally about to like, I'm out. But I was, again, fortunate, and I started slowly making money, and then I made enough that I could do daycare, because it wouldn't be fair to my significant other at the time if I would just add on daycare just for me to be at home. That didn't make any sense, you know? So I was like, all right, let me start making enough to where I can afford daycare. And let me make things clear. Daycare ranges from anywhere to $500 to $1,000 a month. Like that's expensive. So as far as like when you're a new photographer, starts adding up and you're like, oh man, can I afford it? And then I kind of got to where I could afford it. So cool, he's in daycare. From there, my business just shot to the roof because I had time to edit, I had time to devote to my clients. And it was really great and everything was great. It was awesome. And then I got a divorce.
Yay!
Woo!
It's Friday!
Yeah, it's Friday. There's wine in these cups. Just cheers to that.
Do you want some more? No,
I'll just drink out of the bottle. Cheers. So, and we don't have to go into the technicalities of why and when and, you know, all those
you
beautiful
totally
things.
can if you want to, but, or give us a synopsis or.
I might just chug this whole fucking thing. When we started talking about this podcast, and we started talking about what do we want to talk about and everything like that, we both agreed that we just really wanted to keep it raw and uncut and like, yes, we have certain topics we want to talk about, but really this is just like, this is very unscripted, okay?
I don't know a lot about your story either, and I want to. And so this is the first time I'm hearing all of this.
When we go in to talk about certain things, we're like, oh, really? Did you do that? Like when she's like, I didn't know anything. Like I didn't know that. Like just because it's very uncut, like very raw, and we want to make sure that we aren't painting a really pretty picture. Yes, our jobs are awesome, and yes, we are very blessed to do what we do for a living, and there's not once I'm going to sit here and say that I'm not grateful for my career, that I could actually do it, but it did not come without sacrifice, it did not come without heartache, it did not come without problems, it did not come without...
And I would say some of the reasons it's maybe so successful is because, like, you had that opportunity to just, like, push it and like put all your freaking energy into it for certain reasons, and that's kind of what I wanted to. All right, so
we had to take a shortcut. Sorry, we had to talk to the owner of the venue. We had to talk to the owner of the venue. Okay, so back to where we were. Anyhow, so yes, I went through some of the absolute worst times of my life. If anyone's ever, unfortunately, gone through a divorce, it is absolutely heart-wrenching. A lot of places, if you do any research at all, it is the equivalent of mourning someone that you've lost. So I had to do a lot of reinventing myself, a lot of who am I after now I have this business, but also I have the fear of can I make a living? Can I like actually make a living?
So you went from basically like your husband was you were fortunate enough that your husband was.
Yes, and I was definitely making money, but it was to a point to where, as women that are married or have been married, you know that there is not necessarily a safety net, but definitely something that, you know, okay, if I can't make ends due, I have my partner. We were a team, and when you go through a divorce, the fear of, can I actually do this by myself? Can I actually pay my mortgage because we bought a house together? Can I actually pay all the bills and not just pay bills and not just survive, but can I actually go above and beyond and put my kid into sports? Can I also buy him the things that he's wanting? Can I do this? And that's the ultimate fear that I feel like a lot of people stop their passion, stop their dream of what they initially started, or maybe you haven't even started yet because you're in this situation and you're fearful that you can't go and do this. And then it transitions from then to you have to just do it. Because I had to just do it for my kid. I had to just do it. And it was extremely hard.
Yeah.
Terror. Like, I would wake up in the morning, like anxiety, constant anxiety. And so we basically, like, we're very civil, but at the same time, there's a lot on my shoulders.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, emotion there, but you used your passion and your creativity as, like, kind of an outlet to...
Yes, exactly.
Like, you just dove in.
Exactly. So my career, like, you know, you spend your life with somebody, so you have all your free time goes into that significant other because you want to make sure you're there for them. But now you have all this time and you kind of want to just, okay, now I have to hustle. I got to hurry up and hustle, basically. So my job gave me a sense of purpose that, okay, let me go and dive in. Because I already worked on it for years. My company was already 6 years old by the time that this happened. So I was like, I can't just give it up. I've just gave 6 years of my life to this. Like, I have to, you know? So we, as in me and my son, we basically fought through it, and we worked hard, and we did what we needed to do, and it was extremely hard. There's nothing that I'm going to say to anybody that's going through extremely, extremely hard times right now. There's no like sunshine. There's no, if you're going through it at least, at the moment. It's very difficult to see a happy ending when you're in the midst of it. You literally, what saved me is that I had to just think of today. If I thought about the future, anxiety and I can't breathe, that's what did not get me by. So
that's that reminds me of I make the comparison because right now I'm single as well, and we shoot weddings, so that can be rough sometimes, and I always make the comparison. I call it baby goating. So those little baby goats that you scare them, they just get overwhelmed and they just kind of get stiff and collapse. Yes. That's what I do when I think about more than a day beyond is oh my God, I have so much to do. I'm just gonna go take a nap right now. Yeah. And I can't think like that.
They have actually funny memes about that too. But yes, so when right at the beginning of the separation, I had to go work a wedding, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, because now here I am having a failing marriage and I have to capture a couple so in love. And that was, are you kidding me? Kind of moment.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yes, and I had to look at my assistant, Amanda, and she's amazing. But I had to look at her and go and she was like, okay, I got it. And I had to take a break. I had to just move. I had to just do, I just had to have my moment. And and that moment came a lot throughout that night, and it will continue to come a lot, and it will there's no easy way out. You just gotta let those moments come, and you just gotta cool, let's go.
I have the same thing, whereas I go, so earlier this year I went through a really rough breakup, and it was hard for me, and the first wedding after that breakup was one of my best friends that we both, me and my ex both knew. And I had to shoot his wedding, and that was really rough. I had to go outside at some point and just basically cry. Mm-hmm. But
that happens a lot. And what's most important that people need to realize is that us professionals, just because we are a professional doesn't mean we're not human.
Right.
So we're gonna still have things.
And your weddings affect us.
Yes.
I still have couples where someone makes a toast about them, and I don't know this person or the couple, and I just start crying.
Yes, exactly.
It's fine. I gotta it's fine.
I fully agree. And what's really important if you are ever going through a hard time, and you don't even have to be in the wedding industry, you just going through a hard time in general, is to know that the pain that you are feeling, the pain that you are going through, is not wrong. It's not bad.
It's not wrong, and I feel like everyone
You have to honestly
everyone
just
has
it.
Emotion, and I think everyone goes through a hard time in their life, and because of social media today, and seeing all these solo entrepreneurs that are always life hustle, life is great, I love my business, but they don't always show the real side of it.
Yeah.
And how they
That's why we want to do what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Because it is real life.
Yeah.
Totally real life.
So, that's kind of there's an event that's gonna happen
event coming
here.
up. So we're just if you see a lot of loud noise.
Yeah, if it gets loud or whatever, that's why.
So basically, our main goal of today, at least, because I would love to come and continue podcasts with you.
Yeah, this was.
Please, this is the first beginner, and this was honestly the last moment. We planned this in less than a week. Yeah. So there's a lot I think there's to be learned, and there's a lot that we have a lot to talk about and to like help you guys through things. And what's awesome is too is that like as we post this, like you guys are learning, or if you're already professionals, like if you guys have questions, like we can help you.
Yeah.
And like topics you need to discuss. Maybe there's something like really on your heart that like, how do I get past this? Like how do I, and yes, we're in the wedding field, and yes, we,
I think the most important thing is that I want to get across to people is that you're like not alone. Because I know, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur and you're working from home and you're literally like by yourself like 90% of the time.
Oh my gosh, that would eat at you. It does eat at you.
It eats at you, and I think it's like I want people to know that like there's a million other people like you, and all it takes is like you reaching out to someone to be like, hey, I just need somebody to talk to you. Or
and so like, not to interrupt, but yes. So as I did my career, right? As I did photography, I'm doing this by myself and going through it. I was embarrassed at the beginning to admit that I was going through a divorce. Here I am, a wedding photographer, and I promote happiness and beautiful pictures of a happy family. And here I am, now my family is destroyed, now my family is apart, now my family isn't whole, right? And I have to basically check myself. Who am I? Why am I doing this? So from there, I had to say, okay, who do I want to represent? Who do I want to inspire? Who do I want to push to, and who would actually honestly understand me? Like, I think we're here because people are drawn to us, and because they're going through the same thing. So if anyone's actually still watching this, it's because they're going through something similar. So I had to be real with myself. I had to like, okay. So I shared the world, my experience. I opened myself up. I said, this is why I got a divorce. This is what's going on in my life. And it was embarrassing at the moment that I did it, and I was extremely scared. My heart was like, oh my gosh. But then when I did it, the world gave me love, and the world was like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. You're so inspiring. And then that's what brought me to start Real Talk with Niki, which I started, and I recently started She's Inspiring to help motivate and inspire other women to continue on and be the best versions of themselves that they possibly can be. And so that's the biggest. So I think like we have like a starter, but there's so many like platforms we like want to talk about. So if you guys have something you're going through or like questions or anything, like bring it in.
And I think that's important too, is like talking about like you being your brand, like even you sharing about your divorce to like people getting married, they just see like, okay, you're a human being. Like I like that about you, that you're honest and that you're open and that you're a human being, and there's something about that attracts me to like hire you to shoot my wedding. Like even like when it relates to your business, it's important to like be yourself, be your brand, tell your story. But
so it was just
So you have a couple things going on. You have the tell me about them again.
Okay, so I have my actual business, so Wings of Glory Photography. So that's what started. And then that I have Real Talk with Niki. So it's a little bit more raw for my girls that are like
Real Talk with Niki.
Real talk. Like when we say real talk, we mean us as women. We mean the shit that men do. Some men are good, so, and it's raw, uncut. It's just, if you're gonna be part of it, you just gotta have one, a sense of humor, and two, a backbone. Because you gotta check yourself, also you gotta just laugh at the shit that's going on, right? And then we have She's Inspiring, and I just started that, and I'm super proud of it. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. And that is truly just about you, the female. It has really, I say that I give a little spiel in there like, hey, I just want to really uplift you for what you're doing. But it gives you guys all like your own little piece. And I publish it, and I said, hey, this is this chick, and this is all the shit she's doing awesome. Go out and be awesome. And I just because you want to look at it. Yes, it just inspires people. So from there, I started that. I have a lot of other little things in the work right now that I can't say.
You do a lot of things. I see you on Facebook, and it's always like...
I have no time. I have no time for dating. I have no time for love. I have no time for anything anymore. But I work and have my son, and that's all that, like, I'm so happy to represent. I'm so happy to push, and I'm so happy to make my brand around. And my brand is that.
And inspire him too. Like, he gets to see that growing up, like super mom.
Yes.
Kind of.
I want to make sure that he definitely sees within me, and what I'm showing is that just because your circumstances, I wouldn't say are bad, because there's people out there that are so much worse circumstances.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that, but just because your circumstances aren't ideal, like your ideal circumstances, doesn't mean that with hard work, determination, like, you can't go out and do everything that you ever wanted to do.
Yeah.
So, like, yes, I'm a single mom. Yes, I have bills that are literally, and I run off of coffee and Red Bull. That's what I was drinking when I got here. And wine and tequila. So, just because your circumstances are not ideal does not mean that you can't go out and be the best version of yourself, accomplish your goals, and do everything you've ever wanted to do. It's just about putting in the work. You have to understand, putting in the work takes time. Putting in the work takes less sleep. Because I literally, like, this morning, I've been up since, I woke up at 3:30 because now I have a habit of waking up at 3:30, I don't know why. And then I woke up at 6, and I've been up since 6. And I went to bed at midnight, so I don't know, do the math. And that's a good night. A good night. Normally I wake up at like 5 and I go to bed at, 12, 1, something like that. But as long as you are okay and you are determined to put in the work, then you can do anything. That's like what Gary Vee says. Gary Vee's my man.
He's my man too. Hell yeah, Gary Vee.
Oh my God, just a high
Wait,
five.
that was a weird.
That was terrible. Friday.
It's Friday. Yeah, let's just take a drink. That was awkward.
It's all good.
Yeah, Gary Vee for sure.
He is. He's amazing.
But anyway, well, I'm sure we'll have another podcast.
We have to wrap this up.
Yeah, we have to wrap this up. There's another event that's going on in this amazing
and they keep looking
venue.
at us, they're like, hi, we love you, but can you hurry the fuck up, please? We're like, yeah,
No,
so sorry.
they're really nice. They're really nice.
No, they are.
Yeah, we're at House 820 again. So if you're looking for a venue for
anything.
anything.
And at House 820, if you guys do see this later, we love you and we thank you for your patience that you just gave us. So thank you so much.
But we'll have another podcast about, like,
oh my gosh, I want to do so many more. Because we have so many cool topics and, like, so many other things I want to be like, hey, this is a cool topic. Let's talk about it. So again, like I said before, like, if you guys have questions, if you guys have, like, topics you want to talk about,
definitely.
let's do it.
Like, if you, I totally want to know what other people, entrepreneurs or even, like, couples that, like, are my couples or my clients. If there's anything that you're interested in us talking about or me bringing up, or like topics that
we can
challenges
really,
you're going through.
Yeah, even if it's like her clients or my clients, like, we can really go in, like, we can, like, tell you the raw truth about photography, videography. Like, we can go all in that. Now, if you're an actual videographer or photographer or nobody that does nothing with weddings, but you're also still watching at the end of this video.
Yeah, no, this is, like, totally not geared towards wedding specific industry. It's just like anything. We both, like I said, if you make fucking jewelry or you, like, I don't even care. You go and take, like, palm fronds and tie them into special baskets or something. Whatever you do, like, this is geared towards, like, the creative entrepreneur. So
so anyone, and also the woman, like, I know I talk a lot about women today, but
no, I think
anything and everything.
Yeah.
Got questions? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it. But anyway, thanks for joining the podcast. Hopefully every Monday this will be coming out. So maybe not a video cast, but like this one. But it's up on iTunes, the Video Girl podcast, YouTube.
Go follow her.
Yeah, YouTube. You could probably search the Video Girl podcast or Bonnie Newman Creative. And then again, my guest today was Nickole Woodyard.
Nickole Woodyard. And it's Nickole, like, this is the biggest thing. No, I know. I go by Nikki, but the biggest thing is, like, when I say Nickole, it's Nickole. My mom tried to be different, and she's like, let me add in a K. So it's like Nickole. I'm like,
that way no one can
honestly,
spell
like,
it.
Bitch, all you did was make sure no one could spell my name. like, that's cute, but literally my name is still Nickole, please.
Yeah.
So yes, Nickole. Woodyard is Woodyard.
At Wings of Glory.
Wings of Glory Photography.
Central Florida. Yes. But thanks for being on the podcast.
Heck yes. And can we talk about her purple hair?
Yeah,
purple hair is amazing.
We can talk about my purple hair. You can touch it.
I'm going to touch it. Thank you guys so much Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. All right. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Hey, Creative Fam. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. If you liked it and got anything out of it, I would appreciate it so much if you gave it a 5-star rating and subscribed. I'll see you soon.